Shreveport City Council people elect. Ms. Levette, you wanted to make one more comment about the generational shift in Shreveport politics?
About the left and the right. The health of a community can be linked to how much you focus on your local community's issues, regardless of your political background. The moment you start letting your left and right proclivities get in the way is when you start to see things fall apart. Our local issues are common sense issues. They're not Republican and Democrat issues.
You said something, I'm not sure how recent it was, that I had a little concern about we maybe should look at de-annexing some neighborhoods.
No.
Are you back?
I never said that.
You didn't? Okay.
I said that we should look at annexation, at halting annexation.
Okay.
Now,
that
there are
sounds
communities
fair.
that have been de-annexing, but I never said that.
You
Now,
did
one
not.
of my opponents said that de-annexation was socialism. It's actually libertarianism.
Can you even de-annex?
Communities do it.
They do?
But we don't need to worry about de-annexing.
Should we stop bringing in more subdivisions?
I think we need to be careful about when we do it. I think we
Okay.
need to be more focused. Grayson and I have talked about this, and there might be some communities that we should still consider because of the way they're using resources currently. But right now, we need to focus on taking care of what we have before we pick up anything new. We don't want to build on, Jeff Everson says this, why are you building on a new kitchen when you're letting everything else in your house fall apart?
That's a good point. Budget constraints, John, with regard to bringing in any new neighborhoods or growing. We're having trouble getting to everything we have right now. We'll look at our streets, look at our infrastructure. Where are you on that?
So I do think it's important that we bring a renewed discipline to our budgeting process. If you look at the budget that was approved this week, it provides for reserves of just over $2 million on a $500 million budget. I mean, if you were planning your family's year out and you made $50,000 a year and you thought you would end the year with $250 in the bank, you'd be uncomfortable with that, and I'm uncomfortable with that as a councilman-elect. So I think we need to scrub the budget, see where we can save, and use our resources as efficiently as possible.
He's going to be the budget guy. The first time we met, he's like, I found 10 typos in the first few pages. I'm worried about that.
Oh, boy. Grayson, budget concerns that you have going into 2019.
I want to speak on annexation just a second.
Okay, sure.
There is a precedence that's been set in Shreveport back in the early 90s. Part of Ellerby Road Estates, Pleasant Hill Road, and some other areas were de-annexed from the city. However, having said that, I believe that our annexation needs to be planned, and I believe it needs to be with subdivisions that are already concurrent with the city. We have a project in Providence that's about to come up. These developers are putting in the streets, they're putting in the drainage, they're putting in the sewer, they're putting in the water lines, and then donating it back to Shreveport, which happened with a new phase of Southern Trace yesterday. So, and then we also have several houses that are outside the city that's wells have dried that are on city water and sewage. So as far as the budget goes, I don't believe that annexation is a plan to increase revenue. I'm much like John. I think we need to scrub the budget. We need to figure out where we're at. To me, in my household, I have overspending. I went to dinner last night when I probably should have had a sandwich. I mean, you know, sometimes convenience is not necessarily the best thing. And in a city with a $450 million budget, we're going to have to get really, really serious because the next 4 years is important.
The current mayor's been criticized a little bit about forging ahead with things without discussions with the council, without at least running it by them first. Are you hoping that changes with the new administration and the new council?
I am. I've said all along I will not be a rubber stamp for any mayor, especially with these department heads appointments, just because they bring somebody that they feel. I want to vet those people. I think it's our job in the legislative branch to be a checks and balances for the administration. And not to say that I'm being disrespectful, however, I do think that it's our job to make sure that we're getting what we need, because the former police chief is a perfect example. The mayor even said she didn't have confidence on the show in him. So, and you know, there had to be some councilmen that had the same feeling. So I think we ought to speak up. I mean, and not be, that's what we're elected to do. We're elected to represent our constituents.
Well, of course, as I said on the campaign trail, the city charter provides that it's the city council that is the governing body Shreveport. But I'm very optimistic that Mayor-elect Perkins will work well with us.
I think he's going to want to collaborate. He's going to want our
I do too.
buy-in.
I agree. I think from everything that I've heard, and I met with him very early on. I met with all the mayoral candidates. That's what he talked about, is working with the council.